Good morning, Thursday the 12th of November 2020. The strong accept responsibility today in the Daily Stoic. If we judge good and evil, if we judge as good and evil only the things in our own power, if we judge as good and evil only the things in the power of our own choice, then there is no room left for blaming the gods or being hostile to others. If we judge as good and evil only the things in the power of our own choice, then there is no room left for blaming the gods or being hostile to others. Marcus Aurelius. And the author brings up an analogy of Mr. Truman, Harry Truman. He had something on his desk that said, "The buck stops here," on his desk, because he knew that decisions stopped in his office, on his desk. There's no one else to pass a book to, and we can transfer this behaviour to our own internal mindset, and we can learn to just accept responsibility and without, as Marcus Aurelius says, without blaming the external thing for our emotions. And as I said yesterday, it's not the external things that upset us, it's our judgments of them. So it's just accepting that and taking responsibility for our own power of choice. For example, when we feel distressed about something, we tend to find someone else to blame for it. This as a form of escape, as a form of denying that we're choosing to feel like that. And one of my examples is when I was going through a disciplinary process, when I was working for TUI, and I tended to want to blame other people in the disciplinary process. I didn't want to take responsibility for how I was acting, because I was allowing myself to get quite distressed and anxious about the whole situation. And coming from that sort of place of distress and anxiety, our vision's bound to be clouded. That sort of distress, that is just basically trying to figure out who else we can blame without not knowing really that it wasn't at that time. I thought it's the other people that they were responsible for making me feel like that. I wasn't self-aware enough to think, actually, it's not them, it's me. It's me who's in control of my own emotions. And looking back, if it would have been more acceptable, could the situation be different? I don't know, but you can definitely say I would have behaved a lot differently if I would have been more acceptable about the situation I was in. And a lot more clear-headed. And I'd sort of encourage you to, when you're distressed or something about some external thing, about your job today or your illness or an argument you're having with someone, and maybe take a step back and think about that quote, that from Marcus, about that, and think about how you're judging that situation, and maybe think about what good and evil are you seeing in things. What are you choosing to see as good as evil, and how is that playing out in your life? And do an inventory maybe of, okay, who am I blaming for my situations, and how is that serving me? And when we reflect like that, we can maybe distinguish actually. Things could be different. There could be a different path to go, and maybe go down the Mr. Truman's route, Harry Truman's route of putting that in your internal mindset of everything that's going on. The buck stops here. You have a responsibility. You've got no one else to pass it to. You've got full responsibility. No one else can control your mind. And you can't control other people's minds or anything around what's going on. So be aware of what you control. First of all, you need to be aware of what you control and what you don't control, and just basically detaching everything outside of your power of choice, just being indifferent. It's neither good or evil, it's just happening. And when you come from this sort of place of indifference, you might notice that you're a lot more calm in situations, clear-headed. You feel a lot more gratitude in yourself, and you can move on and take better actions going forward and make better decisions. So that's the 12th of November. The strong accepts responsibility. So go and be strong today. I'll speak to you tomorrow.